Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So I have this huge farmhouse wall lantern on my lap. We're going to be making this in today's video. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, subscribe to my channel, turn on the little notifications bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Now I have this decorated for fall right now, but I'm definitely going to be decorating this for the holidays, for Christmas, and these are going to be perfect in my family room next to my fireplace. I'm going to do two of them, one on either side of the big mirror, but you can see how substantial and everything is from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started right now. Alright, so these are the supplies you're going to need to do this project along with me today. I picked up 5 of these frames that hold 3 4x6 photos. I found these at my Dollar Tree. I haven't seen them before, but they're the ones that just hang on the wall, so you're definitely going to need 5 of them, plus 1 of these little square wall plaques. Now I wanted to make sure that it was the same size or the same width as the taller frames that I had, and this one has like a little hook on the back, which I'm going to reuse. But we're going to paint this, and this is going to be the base of our little wall lantern. Now the supplies are pretty simple for this lantern. These are just some other things that you might have on hand at home. Some pliers, a Sharpie. This is a little hacksaw I got from Dollar Tree, some E600. I also have some of the dollar store acrylic black paint, which I'm going to use to paint the base of my lantern. Also a tape measure, just so I can make sure I've got correct measurements, and some hot glue. And make sure you have plenty of that because you're going to definitely need it. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm taking my little small wall plaque apart. As you can see, I'm not going to use the inside of this at all, so I'm just going to pull these little black tabs right off, and sometimes using some scissors to pry them up will help get them out. I know I usually grab them with some pliers. Alright, so once you have all your little tabs out, you'll notice that these little plaques have this like little foam backing that kind of holds the glass into place, which that is perfect. We're actually going to pull this little wall hanging hook right off. It usually comes out pretty easily, but save that because we're going to reuse it again to hold our lantern up to the wall. Now, as I said, this is going to be used as the base of our lantern. So how we're going to use it is we're actually going to be using it upside down, so that way we're sure that the glass stays into place without falling out. Alright, so we're going to take some of the acrylic black paint from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to put some in just a little cup here and use one of our foam brushes, and we're going to completely paint this base of our lantern with the black paint. We're painting over the glass and everything because, like I said, this is going to be our base or the floor to our wall lantern. Once you have the full base covered in paint, make sure you hit those edges as well, because you will see this part. This will be like the bottom front portion of your lantern. So just go around all the edges with a coat of the black paint. You don't have to do the underside really, but as long as you have the sides here covered up good, you should be good to go. Alright, now we're going to prep the rest of our frames to use for the main body of our lantern. So I'm just going to unwrap everything, and we're going to flip this over and take out all of these little tabs just like we did for the base. And again, I'm going to just pull those out with some pliers. Now once we get those tabs out, we're going to pull out all of the inner pieces. So the paper, the backing, even the glass. I'm actually going to save the glass and use it in a different project, but you're not going to use it in this project because we want this to be as light as possible because it's going to be hanging on the wall. So just empty out all of these frames. We're just going to use the actual frame itself. Okay, so remember that little tab that we pulled off? We're going to reattach the tab to the front face of one of our empty frames. So I'm just going to find where I want to put it. I find that it fits best right in the little highest part of the outside of the frame. If you can see here, I'm just going to tap that in with the end of my pliers here. They have a pointy edge, so they go in pretty easily. So here you go, you can see how I've just attached it back to the front side of one of the frames here. That's going to be the portion that's going to hang against the wall. I'm going to use a combination of E600 and hot glue when assembling the frame. Now the E600 is going to give it a little bit more strong of a hold, whereas the hot glue will start holding a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to do a little dot in the top corner, right in the center, and then in the bottom corner, and then I will fill in the space in between with some hot glue. Right, then I'm just gonna set one of my other frames right down into that glue and just make sure that it lines up at the bottom and the top as well as the side, and just hold it in place briefly until the hot glue sets. All right, then I'm gonna lay the frame down with the frame that I just glued into place, and I'm gonna repeat that process on the edge of this frame. So now we're going to flip it to the side again, and we're going to go ahead and repeat this process one more time, adding the final frame in. Now keep in mind, if you want to have a perfectly square lantern, which you need to have it perfectly square so that it fits on the base that we've prepared, you're going to need to make sure that you are butting each one of the frames up to the other frame this same way. If you don't do it this way, you're gonna end up with more of a rectangular shaped lantern rather than a full square. So if you look from the top view of the lantern, you should see that you almost have like an overlapping. One overlaps the next, and that one overlaps the next. And that's the only way to glue these together so that your frame stays square, which is what we want. So now we're going to take our final frame, which is the 5th frame. I'm gonna just measure it really quickly, and we're going to split that measurement in half. I think it ends up being about 7.5 inches. I'm gonna put a little mark just at the 7.5 because I'm gonna cut this frame in half, and this is gonna be used as our roof for our lantern. So I've got a little cutting board, and I've got my little hacksaw from the dollar store, and we're just gonna cut this frame right in half. These cut really easily. All right, so once you have them cut in half, I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick little 45-degree cut from the outside facing in, because this is gonna be where the top portion of the roof meets up with the top portion of the lantern. So now you can see each one of the roof pieces have a 45-degree angle cut on them, and so now we can go ahead and start to assemble the roof. Now I'm going to do just like a dry run just to kind of see where I want to glue the roof pieces together. So I'm just lining it up, and then I'm just going to put a little strip of glue right along the edge, and I'm going to use both the E600 and hot glue because the hot glue will set quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold those two roof pieces where the peak of the roof is together just until it sets. And before it sets fully, I'm going to do 4 little dots of glue, one on each corner, and we're just going to set that roof piece down into the hot glue and just kind of hold it in place until the whole roof sets more securely. Then I'm going to put a final bead of glue right along the peak, and that's just going to help it stay in place a little bit more securely. And I'll add a little bit more hot glue right on those top corners where my roof piece met my actual frame of my lantern, and I'm just making sure that it all stays together nice and strong. So this is what it should look like right now. It's all together with the exception of the floor piece, and that's what we're going to work on next. The black paint should be all dry, so that's the bottom, which you won't see, and this will be the part that's going to be the floor to our lantern. And for this, I'm going to make sure to use the E600 in the corners because I want to make sure that it holds really tight so that way we can put stuff in the lantern without it falling through. But I'm also going to use hot glue as well, like I did before. And then we'll set our lantern right down onto that base. And again, this is why it's so important that your lantern is square and that you put it together the way that I demonstrated, so that way you know, it sits nice and flush up against that base. And I'm gonna go ahead and add another bead of glue right along the seam on the inside just to secure it even more so. Because like I said, it's going to be hanging on the wall and I'm going to put things in this. So I wanted to make sure it's as strong as it possibly can be. So these are up on my wall. I actually only have one of them up right now, but just to show you like how substantial they are, I'm going to put the other one right over here. And I didn't decorate them for Christmas yet because I haven't done any Christmas decorating, but I am going to keep them decorated for Thanksgiving. I just put a cute little candle. It's a battery operated candle in there with a little pumpkin, and then just a few of my fall foliage that I have out along my mantle here. So I love how these turned out. Now the key is to keeping them lightweight. Keep the glass out of them. If you're going to hang them on the wall, definitely keep the glass out of them. If you are going to put them on like a table, you can keep the glass in and glue the glass in place. But I like it with the glass out because I kind of like that greenery spilling out the outside of that lantern. So I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. I know this was a lot of fun. I'm gonna go ahead and start making my second one. So thank you guys again for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, turn on the notifications bell, and we will see you again real soon. Have a great day.